Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk. He always catches my attention because he is Mr. Football. He's got his own show, his own website. Have you heard the news? Has the news gotten to you, my Super Bowl picks?
I have not heard your Super Bowl picks yet. Lay them on me.
All right. I've got the New Orleans Saints. You want to respond to that?
I like that. I've got the Saints going to Green Bay in the NFC Championship game, but Lambeau Field, frozen tundra, too much for a dome team to overcome. But I was close to picking the Saints.
I got the San Diego Chargers.
Ooh, oof. Yeah, that's gutsy. They're not San Diego Chargers anymore.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yeah. If they'll
always be the San Diego Chargers.
Yes, they're my San Diego Chargers. You can call them the LA Chargers. They're my San Diego Chargers. All right, you caught my attention because I saw your picks earlier today with Chris Sims on Pro Football Talk. Explain to me how you got the Ravens going to the Super Bowl.
Well, I got the Ravens going to the Super Bowl for a couple of reasons. First of all, the defense is still very good. I think their offense is improved with the addition of Michael Crabtree. They really like John Brown at receiver. They just haven't had receivers in recent years. And Joe Flacco has the ultimate fire under his butt with the decision to draft Lamar Jackson. He's looked a lot better. And this is a team that even though they haven't been good in recent years, they've still been in the mix. 2016, the game in Pittsburgh on Christmas Day, that game goes the other way. It's not the Steelers in the playoffs, it's the Ravens. So they knock on the door every year. And if they get in, they're the one team in the AFC that the Patriots don't want to mess with. And the way that playoff tree worked out, the Ravens go to New England, and the Ravens beat New England just because they have a history of playing New England tough in New England and winning. The last time they played there in the postseason, last time the Ravens were in the postseason, they had 14-point leads twice in that game and ended up losing to New England. So I just believe that this year, with a little extra pressure on Coach John Harbaugh, a lot of extra pressure on Joe Flacco, a defense that is still good, an offense that has upgraded, I can see them winning the division, and I can see them navigating that playoff tree because John Harbaugh has proven in the past that he knows how to do it. So I'm not ready to write them off, and I think if anything, they're going to be one of those teams that, in hindsight, we're going to say we should have seen that one coming. I always like to be able to say I saw it coming instead of I should have seen it coming. I say I should have seen it coming way too often. So every once in a while, I try to get ahead of it.
But you have the Packers going to the Super Bowl as well. The Bears are going to be better. The Lions will be stagnant. And then you got the Vikings, who may not be as good as last year, or maybe they will be. But you still have them with home field advantage here, which I find interesting. Explain that.
Well, I think if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy all year, which who knows, we just assume he's going to be fine. He's had broken collarbones derail seasons twice in the last 5 years, and unless he gets rid of the ball a little bit more quickly, unless he's willing to not, and that's how he got hurt in that game against Minnesota last year. He held on to the ball to give Martellus Bennett more time to pop open so he could run 30 yards with it once he caught it, and of course he dropped it, and Aaron Rodgers breaks his collarbone, but he's going to have to keep himself healthy. But if he stays healthy, I like what they've done defensively. They hung on to Dom Capers for way too long. They finally got rid of him. They brought in Mike Pettin, who's going to have that very aggressive Rex Ryan-style defense. I think it gives the players on the defensive side of the ball a kick in the butt, and it's going to be a better defense. You add Jimmy Graham to the mix, and I think the Packers are going to make full use of him, unlike what the Seahawks did. I think Rodgers is going to find him in the red zone regularly. Graham's going to emerge again as one of the best tight ends in the game. And I see the one seed in their future. Their early season schedule is very easy, and I think that sets up for, building the confidence necessary to keep winning. The next thing you know, you're in the playoffs, you're hosting playoff games. And there's a sense of urgency with the Packers this year with the change in GM, and I think there's going to be a higher level of accountability for Coach Mike McCarthy. I have a feeling that this team is finally going to fulfill the potential that we've said since their last Super Bowl appearance they've been failing to live up to.
I don't know if you realize this, or maybe you did realize it, but you had Seattle winning the NFC West.
Yes, I really like Seattle. I think we're all a little bit asleep on Seattle. I think Russell Wilson is going to break through, if he isn't there already, as one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in football this year. He did everything for that offense last year, and I think they had a much-needed reset, a hard reset after 5 straight appearances in the playoffs, 5 straight final 8 appearances. They missed the playoffs at 9-7. I mean, how many teams would love to be 9-7? and they made some hard decisions with the coaching staff, with the roster. They've refocused, they've reconfigured, but like every other team that has a franchise quarterback, they understand the center of the universe is the quarterback. You build around it, and I think the Seahawks are going to be good enough to overcome the 49ers, who I think we're too much in love with what they did at the end of the season last year. And I just think the Rams have welcomed too much pressure. And I could see the Seahawks, morphing into that role of the hunters for the first time in a long time, proving a lot of people wrong, winning games thanks to Russell Wilson, and just enough with players that had been stuck on the bench in the past because they had all these high-priced, big-name players. They're going to show us they've got other guys who can step in and get it done.
If you were Le'Veon Bell's agent, what would you do now?
Well, that is a hell of a question. I don't know what the plan is. I think what happened last week when we saw Odell Beckham Jr., Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack get paid, and I think Khalil Mack was the clincher. I think that's what changed the thinking from I'll show up and make $14.5 million to I'm going to try to do something here to get more money in my pocket. The problem is he can't sign a long-term deal right now with the Steelers or anyone else. The window on a long-term deal opens after the regular season ends. And I wonder whether or not there's going to be an effort, or there already is an effort, to instigate a trade to a team that would take on Le'Veon Bell now, give the Steelers something in return for a guy that maybe the locker room doesn't currently want after everything that happened yesterday. And then as part of that transaction, there's some winking, there's some nodding, and there's an understanding that come the Monday after Week 17, that's when Le'Veon Bell is going to get $15 million, $17 million, whatever the number is. But when you look at what the Bears gave up to get Khalil Mack, $23.5 million per year in new money plus picks, right? Those picks have value. The Browns paid $16 million for a second-round pick last year. So how much more would they have given Khalil Mack on the open market? What is Le'Veon Bell worth? And I think he sees that money that's been thrown around to other great players, and I think he's now determined to try to get it. The problem is it's going to be very difficult to get the Steelers to do anything. They aren't inclined to rescind the franchise tag. Maybe they'd be inclined to trade him. If there's someone out there that would trade for him and have that behind-the-scenes, unenforceable promise that here's what you're going to get once the season ends, that may be the end game here. But I can't reconcile the agent saying in one breath yesterday, we're leery of the Steelers using him too much, with, in the next breath, he still intends to have his best statistical season of his career. How do you? The only way that happens is if he gets traded to a team that is giving him security, even if it comes after the season, or if he gets that kind of a promise from the Steelers. They could do a wink nod with him. Hey, come back. Here's what we will put on the table for you right after the season ends. But I think he wants something more than $14.54 million this year. It's just going to be hard to get it.
Have fun tonight, Mike, with the season opener. Tell the boys that I said hello.
All right, Dan. Thanks, pal.
Thank you, buddy. That's Mike Florio. Join us. Brought to you by the 2018 Mercedes-AMG E-Class. Suite of innovative technologies. One of the most intelligent cars on the road. Go to MBUSA.com or visit your local dealership to schedule your test drive today.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.